We are sold a specific image, a billionaire titan who built an empire of gold and glass, descended a golden escalator, and conquered the world. It's a compelling narrative, but the actual blueprint of his rise is documented in a 50-year trail of exploited loopholes, stiffed contractors, and a massive transfer of wealth from the working class to a handful of elites. Here at the Prometheus Playbook, our goal is to steal the fire from those elites and hand the manual back to you. To understand how the system is rigged to win at your expense, hit that subscribe button. Manufacturing an aura of invincibility is the first step of the Elite Playbook. It's designed to blind the public to the mechanics of the grift while it's happening right in front of them. The underdog myth begins with the reality of the fortune handed down by his father, Fred Trump. That empire sat on a dark foundation. In 1973, the Department of Justice sued the Trumps for violating the Fair Housing Act, citing a deliberate refusal to rent to black tenants in Queens and Brooklyn. It was a calculated move to keep property values artificially segregated. They utilized their financial leverage to settle the charges, rather than facing systemic punishment or a change in business practices. For the ultra-wealthy, the law serves as a financial price tag. If you can afford the settlement, the rules don't apply to you. He crossed into Manhattan and applied the same logic to larger stakes. By creating an illusion of infinite wealth and leaking stories of his own success, he convinced banks to throw billions of dollars at Atlantic City casino projects in the 1990s. When the Trump Taj Mahal began bleeding money due to high-interest junk bonds, the reality of the failure was hidden behind a legal maneuver. This chart shows how Chapter 11 bankruptcy functions for the elite. It acts as a legal barrier, protecting personal bank accounts while corporate debt is pushed downward. Small business contractors who built the casinos absorbed the blow, receiving pennies on the dollar. He used a massive legal team to drag out court battles for years. He knew a small-town contractor couldn't afford the litigation cost required to get paid, forcing them to take whatever fraction of the bill he offered. Elite power is the ability to engineer a system where the working class absorbs your financial devastation while your personal wealth remains untouched. Between 2005 and 2010, the strategy shifted toward direct exploitation. The Trump University scheme pressured Americans into draining their life savings for real estate secrets that didn't exist. He paid $25 million to settle the fraud lawsuits. But the data gathered from that venture was invaluable. It proved that millions were desperate enough to buy anything he sold. This formula mapped directly onto his political rise. He tapped into the anger of the working class and positioned himself as the solution to the very elite-driven system he had spent decades navigating. Even after the 2020 election, the monetization continued. Millions in donations from everyday people flowed into PACs, which were then redirected to pay his personal legal bills. The people he once stiffed on construction jobs are now voluntarily financing his defense against the system. By April 2026, with the 47th president holding absolute power, the masks of political decorum have been discarded. In February 2026, he launched sudden military strikes against Iran alongside Israel, bypassing congressional approval and the standard checks of the justice system. Geopolitical volatility of this scale creates immediate surges in demand for defense contracts and energy speculation. It functions as the same wealth transfer mechanic used in the 1990s, but the cost is now measured in lives rather than unpaid invoices. Global chaos is a calculated tool to enrich the defense contractors and tycoons who maintain his grip on power. He recently stood inside the Supreme Court during birthright citizenship arguments, physically looming over the justice system. The system functions exactly as it was designed. Every loophole and every delay serves the interest of the architect. From a queen's apartment to the White House, the trajectory proves that when you write the rules, the house always wins. Welcome to the Prometheus Playbook. Subscribe to keep learning how to recognize a rigged game.